law yet. Let me just finish. I'm going to let you talk. Don't worry about it. I'm going to let you talk, okay? He does not need a visit to the border to know what a mess was left by the last administration. That's his view.
Does that count as a visit? He said, I've been there before. You're saying he drove by for a few minutes. Does that count?
What is the root cause? Where are people coming from who are coming to the border, Peter?
The president said that
I'm asking you a question because I think people should understand the context.
No,
where do people
I'm asking you, why did President Biden say he has been to the border?
Do you have plans to visit the southern border?
I've been there before, and I haven't. I mean, I know it well. I guess I should go down, but the whole point of it is I haven't had a whole hell of a lot of time to get down.
Well, Peter, as you may have seen, there's been reporting that he did drive through the border when he was on the campaign trail in 2008, and he is certainly familiar with the fact, and it stuck with him, with the fact that in El Paso, the border goes right through the center of town. He does not need a visit to the border to know what a mess was left by the last administration. That's his view.
Does that count as a visit? He said, I've been there before. You're saying he drove by for a few minutes. Does that count?
What is the root cause? Where are people coming from who are coming to the border, Peter?
The president said that
I'm asking you a question because I think people should understand the context.
No,
where do people
I'm asking you.
Okay, I'll answer it for you. People come from Central America and Mexico to go to the border. There is a focus right now on a photo op. The president does not believe a photo op is the same as solutions.
But he said,
that may be a difference he has with Republicans.
But that's not what he said either. He said, I guess I should go down. So does he think that he needs a photo op? Is that what he's saying?
He doesn't. And that's a fundamental disagreement he has. I would say the former president went to the border at least once, maybe more. You may know the numbers.
Has
Anything
changed at the border between 2008 when he drove by and 2021?
Aside from the fact that migrants are still coming to the border.
Days, he said, I don't see anything that's going to happen in the meantime that's going to significantly reduce gas prices. He said, I don't have a near-term answer. For Americans who are looking for an answer, what is the answer?
Well, what is true, and I think the president, as I said earlier, was quite candid last night, as the American people should expect from him, and from any president. And there are limitations to what any president can do as it relates to gas prices. We are working and using every single lever he can, but I think what people heard from him is some candor about what impacts we can have.
Representing FedEx, UPS, and DHL is saying that supply chain problems are going to get worse with labor shortages right before the holidays unless the president postpones the requirement to get vaccinated by December 8th. So what is more important to this president, the vaccine mandates or fixing the supply chain as fast as possible?
Well, first I would say that that is not actually what we've seen at companies that have implemented these vaccine requirements that are not even part of federal law yet. Let me just finish. I'm going to let you talk. Don't worry about it. I'm going to let you talk, okay? So American and Southwest CEOs have made clear their workers will not be there won't be a labor shortage. We've seen United Airlines implement this.
Just so that I understand the position then, this union leader says that the looming December 8th mandate for having fully vaccinated workforces creates a significant supply chain problem. You say no, it does not. Is that right?
What I would point to, Peter, is the evidence we've seen from companies, large companies, private sector companies that have implemented these requirements across the board.
The U.S. policy is one of strategic ambiguity on this. He seemed pretty unambiguous with what he said last night. Was that intentional?
What I can convey to you is that our policy has not changed. He was not intending to convey a change in policy, nor has he made a decision to change our policy.
When the president says that the U.S. has a commitment to protect Taiwan, does that commitment include military intervention in the event of a Chinese attack?
Again, as I said earlier, he wasn't announcing a change in policy, nor have we changed our policy, which I think is the most important.
Can you just remind us that policy is no, there would not be military intervention, right?
Our policy is to be guided by the Taiwan Relations Act, which is the specifics of that are that we are going to continue assisting Taiwan in maintaining a sufficient self-defense capability.
As you said yourself, words matter. So my question is, did the president simply misspoke last night, or was he actually sending a signal that there may be some sort of informal shift that the U.S. commitment towards Taiwan may be more firm?
His policy has not changed, but that's, I think, important for people to know and understand. Go ahead.
Community college.
Yep.
He said, I promise you, I guarantee you, we're going to get free community college in the next several years across the board. So what makes him so certain that he'll be able to get community college, free community college in the next several years if it's not going to be included right now?
He's in the first 9 months of his presidency. He also referred to Senator Sinema as someone who's smart as the devil, which he has used many times in the past to describe the vice president, to describe Rahm Emanuel. It's a point of endearment from him. He described Senator Manchin as a friend.
Any member watched the town hall meeting and said, oh, that's going to change my vote?
You know, I'm not sure that his audience were people who are currently residing in this area, in this zip code, right? His audience was the American people. I actually don't think that's the case. So just to be clear, what was your question? Just to be clear for the record here.
Executive action before the president leaves for Europe next week.
I think what I was giving for you is a contextual answer on how we're going to achieve our climate objectives, which is, of course, what he's going to go to Paris. Paris, we're not going there, but what I mean, it was like a little. I wish what he's going to talk about when he's in Glasgow. And
your colleague Karine said last year, under Trump during the holidays, families were facing down a dark winter with less economic security than ever before. But this year, families are facing highest gas prices in 7 years, 30% higher costs to heat their homes, inflation that is almost 5 times higher than it was in December. Groceries are more expensive. So I'm wondering what Americans are facing this Thanksgiving and Christmas under President Biden when looking at economic security.
Well, I would say we have cut in half the unemployment rate.
The president's public opinion polls have declined sharply over the last few months. And I want to get a sense from you, in speaking to your White House colleagues, why you think that is. I know you've mentioned COVID before, but is it also because of the chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan? Is it the stalled agenda for President Biden? What do you suppose is the reason that we've seen this slide in the president's approval ratings?
I would just go back to what our view is that we're still going through a hard time in this country, and people are tired of fighting a pandemic. They're tired of the impact on their lives. Some of them are sick and tired of people who won't get vaccinated,